What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by LeVon Maynard.
Welcome to the show.
What's going on? And usually Shannon, but unfortunately, he was unable to make it this week. He'll be back next week. Definitely tune in throughout the week. So we have some really good topics that we're discussing. So Monday, we discussed DHS and some talent management that they're doing with some really good salaries in the future. So definitely tune in to that one. Tuesday, we talked about the banking industry and how they're going to have to report their breaches a lot faster to the government through new regulations. So that's a really good topic. Thursday, we will be talking to Jarvis Bryant about his cybersecurity journey. He's active in the Army and he's going to break into cyber pretty soon. So really good Q&A with him. Then Friday, we talk about everything else. So anything else that we've been consuming, watching, playing throughout the week. So it's always a good time. But today, our discussion revolves around Apple. So we discussed this earlier when Apple first decided to roll out or discuss rolling out some phone scanning, where they would be pretty much looking into your pictures to make sure they didn't contain sexually explicit material revolved around children. So, and then there was some backlash, right? So this article is on Electronic Frontier Foundation, so EFF. It's written by Erica Portnoy. Sorry for your name. It's entitled "Apple Has Listened and Will Retract Some Harmful Phone Scanning." So the gist of it was Apple was going to scan your photos to make sure you didn't have any material that was sexually explicit, and it revolved around children for the most part. So everybody can agree that, hey, we don't want that material out there. But what people do not like, apparently in abundance, is you have child advocate rights individuals jumping in saying this is a breach of children's privacy because children who have these pictures, right? They don't exactly understand the ramifications of it, and they may share it with their friends and what have you. So just to put it out there, if you are a parent of a child, if your child has nude pictures of themselves or underage, they have child pornography. But there's this assumption that's made that whatever photos and pictures you take on your phone belong to you. And Apple pretty much was had a campaign that was a front to that. Like, no, your pictures, we can scan those. They're in our databases. They're taken with our phones. And people were like, well, wait a minute, it's my phone. So another point I wanted to bring up was, so they've backpedaled a little bit and they've made some changes. So they made a feature, I guess, name change, so to speak. So they changed from sexually explicit to naked because LGBTQ plus rights advocates asked for this change because the phrasing sexually explicit is often used to cover is often used as cover to prevent access to LGBTQ plus material. So that was a thing as well. Just the phrasing was off in what they were saying, because it's interpretation, right? Like, what do you interpret to be sexually explicit? So they changed that phrasing. However, there are people who want them to just shut down this campaign in general, saying it's a breach of privacy, and that they're basically sidestepping people's privacy. So with that being said, I fall somewhere in the middle. I'm just gonna put it out there now. Like, I don't want this material out there. I don't want someone to have that type of material with my child. I also tell my child to not take such photos and what have you. I'm always in their business and whatnot. I'm just not big into them having so much autonomy, so to speak. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of old school. I am a millennial. I'm like an elder millennial, though. I still believe take your door off the hinges, which I know is not PC anymore. They're supposed to have privacy. I get it. I only threaten. I've never done it. But I also see people scared of this becoming a 1984 type situation where the state is looking at you, right? Like, wow, like you do need your own privacy. So I'm on both sides of the fence. What about you, LeVon?
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I mean, it's I think if I had to like make a choice, I would say, hey, as long as it's, let them scan whatever they need to scan, as long as there's no child pornography in these photo batches, there's nothing to be concerned about.
Right.
As long as it's not like somebody is actually going in physically, like looking at your pictures, your gallery, your content, your whatever
Oh, right.
whatever.
As long as
Yeah,
as long as it's automated, basically.
yeah, it's automated. Like it's not like somebody physically
Okay.
going into your account and just like actually looking through your supply. It's just some automated AI machine, computer that's just scanning for a certain type of image that fits a category, certain facial structure, certain body structure, or whatever. And it's not somebody that's like actually looking, through your
I see
stuff.
what you're saying.
Makes me feel a little bit better about it.
Right.
At the same time, it's like hard to, how do we know that Apple's not like, the engineers aren't going through people's phones, are going through their galleries themselves.
Right.
We just
Right.
kind
Who's
of,
watching the watchers?
yeah, exactly. We're relying on their word that they're actually using some AI bot that's actually scanning these files.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess like, on the opposite spectrum, like you mentioned, I mean, opposite end of the discussion is, obviously people want to maintain their privacy, and I can understand that concern. People don't want to have, like we were discussing, that people might be able to just view their photos at their leisure and have access to your content. And then I don't know, somebody's like videos or personal data gets leaked. I know we have all those like scandals with not even scandals, but just like leaked sexual photos from like celebrities, things of that nature, videos.
Right.
I think like Kim Kardashian was one of the big ones, and like some other ones before that.
Yeah. I think like
But
Scarlett Johansson and
yeah,
like I think hers was an Apple breach. I think that actually happened
right,
through Apple, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah. So that kind of stuff happens. So that'd be one step closer to Apple engineers being able to, I don't know, access their data with with a valid quote unquote valid like
Right.
process that they're using for the safety of children in sexually explicit or actually was it not sexually explicit but actually naked photos. Um, so I think it's a good thing overall. I don't mind it. Plus, I don't use Apple, so it doesn't affect me at all.
Yeah, you don't.
And
Yeah,
then
it's coming though. Like if it becomes the standard, they're coming for
that's
you
right.
too, Android.
Yeah, they can go for the Android users. Uh,
Right.
but it could be concerning. And then I thought about it earlier, and I was thinking about this as we were joining the call today. Just just generally speaking, I wonder if these kind of scans would potentially be like, I don't know what algorithm they'd use to find the photos, but if people like to take pictures of themselves, like especially like fitness people when they're like getting ready for a competition or something like
Oh,
that, or they
right.
want to take a look at their body, and like, or somebody's just losing weight, generally speaking, like, oh, this is me like 6 months ago, and now look at me now, kind of
Yeah.
thing. I wonder if those would be like compromised or be like tagged and I don't know, removed or like reported on or
Right.
something like that inadvertently. And I don't know how smart their algorithm would be to make sure that
Yeah.
kind of stuff doesn't happen.
I would think that it would only be if you had the proportions of a child, which I mean
Right.
could be a very petite person.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of
So
petite people out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that'd be my thing. I guess the AI would parse through the photos. It would find things that it believed to be um, naked materials or whatever of underage people, but
Hmm.
you still have to have a human look through those photos to make sure to basically confirm it, right?
Right.
Because you can't
Right.
just trust AI by itself
Right.
because it will make mistakes.
Yeah.
But again, like this is for a very small population of people, though. Like, so I, if I had to make a choice, I would
Hmm.
say don't do it because it is an
Hmm.
invasion of privacy, and you're only like I don't I would be shocked if 99.9999% of us were using our phones uh, incorrectly. You know what I mean? Like the vast majority of people are not doing this. This is
Hmm.
for a very small population of people. Um, but I'm just like, man, like the parent in me is just like, protect my child.
Yeah. Right. Right. The
But then when
kids.
you're giving up a lot. You are giving up a lot, and
Yeah.
who's to say it won't be exploited by hackers in the future or something like that?
Right.
Um, like
That's true.
once you create that break in end-to-end encryption, anything could happen,
Mm.
right? So
Right. That's a good point. I didn't think about that too. People trying to get into the system that runs this whole this whole like database or whole like process, it might be able to get compromised, and all of a sudden people are actually able to get into these files and do whatever they want to them.
Right.
So
That would also be my concern. Yeah. So we will see what comes of it. Like there are a lot of people against it. So I think Apple may backpedal some more.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, Apple is a pretty big player in the game. Like there are, millions of Android phones as well and other types of phones. But Apple has a huge market share, so it could become the de facto standard. It could go from Apple to elsewhere. But I don't know. Like they slow rolled it. Like they're still getting more information, right? They're still figuring out what people like and don't dislike. As you can see, they're changing verbiage to protect certain communities and things of that nature as well. So we'll see what the final results are. I think it's an interesting topic. And depending on where they land, I think that'll be another discussion, right? Did they go too far? Did they not go too far? X, Y, and Z. So, but yeah, but no, I appreciate the conversation. Definitely continue to tune in. Hit us up Monday through Friday. We have episodes, which I think is great. You always have content, ready to play. Don't wait for me to drop it on LinkedIn. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe so you get it bright early in the morning, right? So it's a stagger drop. So you receive content quicker if you subscribe, and it's free. So like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit up the website www.theothersideofthefirewall.com, where you can get to all of our socials. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, and Clubhouse. And you, LeVon?
Yes, sir. You can hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.
Take care.